Hi there. It's June 1st and time for a brand new version of Through the Book of Proverbs. This is the 22nd time. This month, we're going to use the Lexham English Bible, which I haven't read. I have studied about it some. I can jump over here. You can see, now this is a chart. If you look all the way over to where's my arrow here? The left, it starts word for word and goes over to paraphrase. The farther to the right you go, the more of the prose has changed. They put it in modern English, trying to capture ideas and thoughts and make it more understandable. The farther left you go, the more you have a literal translation of the very Hebrew and the exact scriptures it came from. You notice the Lexham English Bible is all the way to the left. The only one more is an interlinear Bible, which is an exact word for word. Interesting. This is the same company, Lexham, put the interlinear Bible out, and they used a lot of that for this too. This is meant to be read exactly beside the Hebrew, okay, and give you the exact words. So it'll be interesting. It's very well written. It'll be interesting to compare it to I have the Lexham, and I put the New International Version over here. It's probably the most popular Bible, right? And it's right in the middle of that chart, right? As far as being they're all good translations, okay? Any Bible needs to be read, right? That's the main thing, is to have it read. So we're going to do this, and we'll compare it. It'll be interesting to go along this. As we know, the first 8 chapters or so is all like an introduction to wisdom, okay? And what it is and why you should seek it. And the actual Proverbs sayings start around 9 and 10. So let's begin a new month, okay? Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to understand sayings of understanding, to gain insightful instruction, literally the instruction of insight, right? Righteousness and justice and equity, to give shrewdness to the simple, right? Cleverness or prudence to the simple, knowledge and purpose to the young man. May the wise hear and increase learning, and to the one who understands gain direction, right? Guidance. To understand a proverb and an expression, words of wisdom and their riddles. This one always gets highlighted, right? Fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, wisdom, and instruction. Fools despise. Okay? The beginning of knowledge is fear of Yahweh. That's always the start of everything, right? Lecture against gang behavior. Okay? Yeah, it's prologues over here. My child, may you keep your father's instruction and do not reject your mother's teaching, for they are a garland of favor for your head and pendants for your neck. My child, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, we shall lie in wait for blood. We shall ambush the innocent without cause. Like Sheol, we will swallow them alive, and whole, like those who descend to the pit. We shall find all precious wealth. We shall fill our houses with booty. We shall throw your lot in our midst. There will be one purse for all of us. My child, do not walk in their way. Keep your foot from their paths, for their feet run to evil, and they hurry to shed blood. For in vain, right, without cause, or for nothing, is the net scattered in the sight of any winged bird. They lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. Thus are the ways of all who are greedy for gain. It will take the life of its possessors. Right? That's a good one to highlight too, right? Thus are the ways of all who are greedy for gain, money, wealth. It'll take their life. Okay? Here it says it takes the life of those who get it. The call of Lady Wisdom. Now we know, okay, Solomon likened wisdom to a female presence. Okay, there were no females in heaven in the beginning. Okay, wisdom is Jesus. Okay, when you think, if he calls about wisdom, think about Jesus, because right, it says, and we can point that out later. Even Paul, it says in the New Testament, Jesus was wisdom personified. Okay, so Jesus calls out in the streets. Right? Wisdom calls out in the streets. In the square, she raises her voice. On a busy corner, she cries out. At the entrances of the gates in the city, she speaks her sayings. How long, O simple ones, will you love simplicity? And how long will scoffers delight in their scoffing, and fools hate knowledge? May you turn to my argument. Behold, I shall pour out my spirit upon you. I will make my words known to you, right? That's that say right there. Okay. Is that what Jesus said? Right? I will make my words known to you, because I called out and you refused me. I stretched out my hand, yet there is none who heeds. You have ignored all my counsel, and my reproof you are not willing to accept. I will also laugh at your calamity. There's a note there, downfall. I will mock when panic comes upon you. When your panic comes like a storm, and your calamity arrives like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call me, but I will not answer. Then they will seek me diligently, but not find me. Since they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh, they were not willing to accept my counsel. They despised all my reproof. They shall eat from the fruit of their way and shall be sated from their own schemes. Right? Let's just highlight this, right? Let's highlight that whole thing. Why not? They were not willing to accept my counsel. They despised all my reproof. They shall eat from the fruit of their way, and they shall be sated from their own schemes. For the waywardness of the simple ones kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. Whoever listens to me will dwell in security and rest securely from dread and disaster. All right? Does that sound like Jesus? That does sound like Jesus. Okay? So that's the beginning. And this is a very easy reading Bible. It's a later translation, I think 2016 or something like that. Yeah, 2012. So, and this is the closest you're going to get to the exact Hebrew. And it's actually surprising how the other ones also are very, very good translations. Okay? But I wanted to do something different. We've done it 22 times and we've never done this version. So I always check first to make sure that there's a lot of versions out there that have gone what they call woke. Okay, they have taken all of the gender out of it and taken out anything that might offend. Okay, the Bible is supposed to offend you. Okay, I'm sorry, but if you're wrong, if what you're believing is not true, you should be offended when you read the truth in the Bible. And they can't sugarcoat it so you're not offended. That way the Bible words don't work. And it says all over the Bible and in several places not to change those things. Okay. And even the New International, which we have over here, right? The newer ones, okay, have gone woke. Okay. If you're reading a New International, you want to get one from the last century, right? From 1982 or 1995. Same with the New American Standard. You want the older versions. Okay. If you see an older Bible, right, an older Bible from like 1982, the 1970s, right, 2001 at garage sales, gee, pick those up. Okay. Pick those up because even the New International Version has outlawed all printing of the older versions, and they only want their new version printed that was printed in like 2010 or 12, which takes out all the gender and all the offensive, language that God speaks. So just a little side note there. Okay, so in the Lexham, we highlighted a few things in here. I'll go over highlights. All right, this is the most important. Right, fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. Wisdom and instruction, fools despise. But fools despise, right? The Hebrew words rendered fool in Proverbs and often elsewhere in the Old Testament denote a person who is morally deficient. Right? Fools despise wisdom and instruction. They do. You can't tell a fool anything. Okay? They're going to scream at you and call you names because they have no truth to back up what they believe. Fear of Yahweh. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh, is the beginning of knowledge. Okay? First and foremost, you must follow the Lord. Right? Kings talks about people waiting for blood. Okay? Lots of these out there, they just want to steal, cheat, kill, destroy. Right? Right? Thus are the ways of all who are greedy for gain, or ill-gotten gain, it says after here. It will take the life of its possessors. Okay? Those who get it. Okay? It will take their life. And this is the call of Lady Wisdom. Okay? And we know wisdom. Jesus was wisdom. Okay? Right here. When you turn to my argument, behold, I shall pour out my spirit upon you. It says over here, thoughts. Okay? And that's, this being an exact, right? Hebrew says, I shall pour out my spirit on you. Okay? Changed it. They changed it so this doesn't sound like it's Jesus. Okay? Jesus said he would pour his spirit out on you. He said that. He said that to the apostles. Okay? I will make my words known to you. These people who don't seek Jesus, right, which is the only way to God, right? Since they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh, they were not willing to accept my counsel. Jesus said this to the Pharisees, right? They despised all my reproof. They shall eat from the fruit of their way, and they shall be sated from their own schemes. The waywardness of the simple ones will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. Right? Complacency of fools. Kind of hard to improve on that, it says that over here. Whoever listens to me will dwell in security and rest securely, right? Be at ease from dread and disaster, right? If you're following the Lord, right? If you're a disciple of Jesus, who says no one goes to the Father except through me, right? You can rest securely, right? From dread and disaster. Right? So there you go. This is going to be fun, going through the Proverbs in a different translation, right? And again, it is very close to the actual Hebrew. You can hold the Hebrew Bible, and if you're fluent in Hebrew and Greek, which I'm not, I'd like to be, maybe one day I'll start studying that. Right? You can compare them side by side, and this would be over here the Hebrew. Okay. And a lot of them are very good. I mean, you can see how close these are to the Hebrew. Okay. The NIV is a good Bible while we're studying, if you get the older versions. Okay. The older versions. So, because they printed millions of them, so there's plenty of them out there. They're not allowing them to print anymore, and have made it illegal to print the older versions, because they want their new versions out there with all the woke nonsense and the gender neutral language and stuff. So there you go. It'll be fun. Keep studying this. Okay. Beginning of a new month. Stay tuned later today. I think we are in John chapter 13 or something like that and are through the New Testament in a year. But yeah, follow this along with us. It'll be great. Good stuff. So give us a like if you think about it. Later on, we'll continue. See you next time.